Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Elegant Sentiments today. I'm Sheryl, the owner of Elegant Sentiments, and this is our weekly card share number 114. So I'm happy to be here sharing another easy and elegant card for you today. I've got some products from Lisa Horton Crafts and Pinkfresh Studio. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let me switch my camera here. And here we are. I've got from Lisa Horton Crafts, I've got my inks. I've got inks from the Picked by Paula line. And I've got Georgia Moss, Gaugin Grapefruit, Hopper Emerald, and Helen Teal. And then for my sentiment, I'm using this beautiful one of the birthday thanks panel papers, and I chose the happy birthday wishes, and these are two big stamps, and they have coordinating dies that go with them as well. And so I have that. And then for the other part of the card, I'm using the stitched basket weave cover plate from Pinkfresh Studio. I use this quite often. I really like this one. And then I've got a bundle here in my heart. So I've got the stencils, the dies, and the stencils, and then I have the stamp set. And so this is, I'm using just the frame. As you can see, there are a ton of really lovely sentiments on here. But I really like the idea of using that. I wanted to use the big panel sentiment from Lisa Horton. So I put all these products together for today's project. And let me find my sample of the card I'm going to make. So this is the sample. And I've also used, I've got some here, wow, embossing powder. This is the gold pearl. So that's what this looks like heated up. And it's a really soft gold that I used for this card. So that's the card that we're going to make. And I did go ahead and do the heat embossing already. So that's done. Let me bring out, I stamped that large panel from the In My Heart stamp set onto a piece of white cardstock, and then heat embossed the sentiment also in the gold pearl and die cut that out. So that's all ready for us. And then my A2 panel, I put a little bit of ink in the bottom and top part here where the sentiment will be. And then I just die cut, use that cover plate on the front of the panel and die cut that so that I have that nice texture on the front of my card. You could do that on a separate panel and add it, but it's just as easy to just put that cover plate onto the front of your panel and then run it through your die cut machine. So that's what we did. So let me get out my little sticky mat and we'll get to doing some stenciling with the stencils that coordinate with the In My Heart stamp set. So there we go. Move this out of the way. And let me get my stencils out. I can't remember how many stencils are in this set. I think there's 7. There's quite a few, but they go pretty quickly. So it shouldn't take us too long to get done here. Okay, let me get these all out. And they do give you some sample coloring on the packaging. I like that about Pinkfresh Studio. That's really nice. And so let's see, there are, oh, this one's backwards. There are 6 stencils in this set, and the stencils are numbered up here in the corner. So we'll go ahead and start with stencil number 1, and I am going to use some tape to kind of help me keep this in line because the piece of paper that I'm stenciling on is bigger than the stencil. So the sticky mat is keeping my paper in line, but it's not doing much for my stencils. So I'm just going to use a bit of tape here to keep these stencils lined up nicely. I just moved that. Let me put that back. There we go. Okay, so let's see, what color do I want to do first? I think for this first stencil, I use the Helen Teal. And let me get my little piece of sticky for my inks. So I'm going to start with the Helen Teal and ink those up. Looks like I moved that stencil a little bit. Let me get that lined back up. Okay. All right, I think we're good. And the nice, wait a minute. I'm not lined up over here though. The nice thing about these stencils is that you only have to worry about one color on each layer. Okay. These are really, really delicate little flowers, really cute. I just want to make sure I get it lined up so I don't want ink going where I don't intend for it to go. So I think I'm just going to use, let me get my bigger ink blending brush for that. Yeah, I started with the detail brush and I think I ended up just using this brush to get this ink down. Just doing a nice soft coat of this blue. And just going around and adding blue. This Helen Teal is the actual name of this color. Not worried too much about shading or anything like that. You will add some details onto the bigger images with some of the later stencils. So I'm just kind of putting the color down. Some places it's lighter, some places it's darker, and that's just fine. Oops, I didn't intend to go directly on the flower, but there we go. We'll have a nice, pretty dark blue one. Just super simple, super easy. Nothing fancy. Okay, that takes care of stencil number 1. Pull up my tape and we'll move on to stencil number 2. There we go. Okay, and then for stencil number 2, we're going to go in with the yellow, the Georgia moss. And put that down. Nice, cute little teeny flowers. I think I like this one because these flowers are so little and cute. Just fun, and the stencils make it super easy to ink these up, which is another fun feature about this set. And all of these little guys are going to be yellow. Of course, you don't have to ink blend or heat emboss this stamp. You could just stamp it in your favorite color and stencil it with the ink instead of the heat embossing. But I like the idea of the heat embossing. And I just bought a bunch of new heat embossing powder colors, so I wanted to try them out. Okay, so that's it for stencil number 2. And we'll move on to stencil number 3. Halfway there already, really quick. And here we're going to be putting on some leaves. So I'm going to be swapping out to, let's see, I'm going to put this up here. Trying to make sure I got that right. Yeah. And oops, I want to cover up the places where I have to ink. So that's it for Georgia Moss, and we'll bring in the Hopper Emerald and do our leaves. Oops, I almost need a third piece of tape, I think. But I think we'll be okay. Just use my hand to hold some of it down. And again, just filling in, making sure I go both directions since these little openings are so small. Just want to go both ways. On these. Super quick. There's some of these are little stems, but I'm making them green too. I'm not going to differentiate between them. And get this corner up here, and this one will be pretty much done as well. Okay, I don't think oops, I missed one right there. Let me just double check I got everybody. Okay, so that is it for stencil number 3. And now we'll go back in and add some more detail to the flowers. I think that's what stencil number 4 does. Let's see. What pieces are we picking up here? Yes, it is adding detail onto these blue flowers. And just double checking to make sure I've got it in the right spot, because these little openings are very teeny. So we're going back with the Helen Teal now. And we'll pick up these little guys. Actually, I can use a smaller brush, smaller detail brush for these little guys. Get down in there. A lot of times I wonder how they think of these to put the layers. You have to kind of think backwards. I don't know that or maybe I don't know, maybe they put it all together and then deconstruct it. It'll be interesting to research. I might do that one day, but it's however they do it, I marvel at it. I think it's awesome. And here we go. These little openings are teeny, hard to see them. Some of them. And okay, I've got everybody on that still. Oops, down here might add a little bit more color. Okay, so that is it for stencil number 4. Just add a little more detail to the flowers. So cute. And then stencil number 5, we're going to be putting some color on these flower buds here. Little teeny flower buds. And I think I made these little teeny buds blue. But you know what? I think I might switch and make these little teeny buds yellow. The only reason I'm saying that, no, I think I'll stick with the blue only because I've already got some blue showing up. And, oh, now let me see. Get that side down and tape it, and then we'll tape this side. So yeah, I'll just stick with the blue because then I don't have to worry about taping off and all that. It's just keep it simple, nice and easy. But if you wanted, you could change up that color and make it a different color on these buds. Whatever suits your fancy. Okay. There we go. You more teeny little spots on this side. And it's all done. Okay, oops, we missed a couple over here. Okay, did I get everybody? I think I did. Okay, that is it for stencil number 5. We have one last stencil. Oh, so cute. So cute. And that's going to be stencil number 6. And we're going to add some flower centers to yellow flowers with this one. Okay. Try to find my flowers and make sure I'm in the flower centers. Okay, so this is the last stencil. And for the flower centers on these yellow flowers, I'm using the grapefruit. Take this down. Make sure things are in the right spot. Looks right. Okay. And then I'm going to use the grapefruit for these little flowers. Little flower centers. And where's my grapefruit brush? There it is. Why do these look off to me? Because they are. Okay, there. I'm gonna move between the top and the bottom because I think I may be off just a hair. Look at these flowers. Okay. These little guys. There. Okay, I'm going to do these and then I'm going to move my stencil again for the top part just to make sure I'm getting those flower centers where they're supposed to be. With the embossed little centers, it's hard to tell on some of these, to be honest, but I think I got it lined up right. We'll know in a moment. And up here looks good. And then we got this guy over here. There, it was right. Okay. All right, so that is all of the stenciling that we need to do. And we've got our pretty little flowers, yellow and blue. I don't even know what kind of flowers these are. They're just pretty though. There we go. So that's our panel all inked up. And then I'll go ahead and bring out the die cut for this. And it's going to cut out the frame in the center. And then it'll cut the outer part as well. And I like this because it's all one piece, so you don't have to do too much finagling around. Okay. I'm going to bring this down and get this lined up. I'm going to be careful. I'm going to be using lots of tape on this one because I don't want anything moving. With those embossed those embossed lines, it's easy for things to shift as it goes through the folder, so we don't want that. I'm using lots of tape here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to use just the regular sandwich for my Platinum 6. And since I find where I put my plates, Well, now in this peachy, oh, here they are. I had my embossing plates in there and I couldn't find what I did with my regular cutting plates. Okay, there we go. And we'll run this through. Well, I probably should angle that a little bit. There we go. And a little pokey tool here. I'm not worried about this piece, the centerpiece, because it's going to be tossed. Well, actually, I'm going to stick it in my little bin. I don't throw anything away. Hardly ever, because you always can use this. A good piece for like sentiments and that sort of thing. So, or if you just have a teeny little die cut. And this. I have another little piece of tape over here. Get that too. Okay. So here's our die cut frame all ready for us to use. And us, I always speak as though I'm here with somebody. Well, I am. I'm not alone. Okay, so we've got that. And then let's see, what do I want to do now? I want to bring in my card base, and I'm going to pop this up, both of these pieces, with some foam tape to give it a little bit of dimension. And I think I'm just going to use my thicker foam tape, so I'm going to have to cut it down. I didn't cut pieces ahead of time. A lot of time I will do that, but I didn't do that this time. So we want foam tape on the back of the frame, all around it, and then the same for the sentiment, because I want them both popped up. I can put this over here, maybe. Yeah. I don't need to cut that. And we'll cut a couple more pieces of the foam. And let's see, I'll cut it into thirds, I think will be good. Oops. Got a little whopper jaw there. And go down as far as I can on this side. And then we'll pick up over here. And these are ones, if I were going to mail this, I would double cut that frame a couple times to give it some more stability. But these cards are going to be, I'm just going to be handing them to the recipient. So I won't need to worry about the double cutting. And I'll put another little piece up here. And maybe stick a little piece right in there. There we go. And I'll take care of that piece. And then we got to get our sentiment. And I could probably stick this up here somewhere. Move that out of the way. And let's see, we'll put a piece, I think I'll go this way. Maybe, oh, let's see, if I do it this way, cut little squares for the P. Actually, I could have just done a whole piece. Oh well. That's too wide. A little piece. Two little pieces here. We'll put one here. And this one we can stick right here. Maybe. If I can get off my fingernail. There we go. And then this little piece we can put here. And I'm going to take these leftovers and stick it up here. I need a teeny little piece for the A. Let's see, cut that. Well, that's not the same width. All right, so let's do it this way. And cut that. Put that there. Okay. Okay. All right, I think that will do it for all of the foam tape that we need. And so we'll bring in our card front. Let me get rid of some of this junk. And junk, it's my inks and brushes. I guess it's cluttering the desk. Maybe that's a better word. Because my beautiful craft supplies are not junk. Although my son would say otherwise. Okay. Get all the little pieces off. And then we can put it on the card front. And then add the sentiment. Okay. So I'm going to stand up so I can see what I'm doing. And actually, do I want to put the sentiment? No, I want to put sentiment down first. Oops. Make sure this is straight. And that down. Okay. And then my happy birthday, I'm going to kind of nestle it underneath these pieces in the corners. And we'll be able to call this one done. See me. Let me make sure that's not sticking. It is sticking out just a little bit in that E. Poke that back just to beat it. There we go. Don't want you covering up my hole. And okay, we're getting there. Only one more after this one. There we go. Last one done. Put this stuff in the bin. Okay, and then to finish it, we just stick our sentiment in, nestle it. Oops, trying to get it nestled without sticking, which is, there we go. Because it really just fits in there, just like that. Okay, so that is today's project. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And check me out on other social media. I've got a Facebook group, Elegant Sentiments Limited. I try and post there once a week. And also my blog, elegantsentiments.com. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think of this card? And we will see you next time. Bye for now.